Alright, what is going on YouTube? And we got more rough stuff on Genshin Impact. We got a new Spiral Abyss in which the elements are Dendro, Pyro, and Hydro, along with a couple featured characters like Sitlali who deviate from that. So this is big for Bloom, Burning, Burgeon, and Vaporize. If you have a good Dendro character that can do Bloom or Burning, or like if you have Kaniche, you probably can go crazy on this one because most people have good Vaporize teams. I think Vaporize is by far the element reaction that has gotten the most love throughout Genshin Impact history. So most people are good on that front. If you're familiar with the channel or my old channel where I used to make all these videos on, I do not have a lot of great Dendro characters. In fact, I didn't really buy into the whole Dendro thing because I didn't need to at the time. I got Nahida, but I got her on her rerun banner in like, what would that have been? 3.8, I think? It was one where her and Nilou got a rerun together. But until then, I did not even pull for a single Dendro character. Especially, like, I got some 4 stars here and there, but I didn't care. I didn't think Grass was nearly as cool as the other elements. Dendro was kind of bad at first, and I still think it's kind of bad. Like, Alhaitham and Nahida were the only really good Dendro characters, I feel like. I might be forgetting one, but like Baiju right here was okay. Then we had Kaniche. Kaniche is a pretty whopping Dendro main DPS. Finally made Burning and Burgeon pretty viable. Actually, I think he's just Burning. Yeah, he made that a pretty viable reaction, though, in the same way Alhaitham made, whatever the one with just Electro and Dendro, no Hydro. I think it might be called Aggravate or something. But Kaniche made that viable, just like Alhaitham made that reaction viable. And we also got Emily or whatever for Burning as well. So Dendro got more love in the last year than it did its first year, like 3 years ago now, which is a crazy thing to even say. Like 3 years ago, it's already been 3 years. So every time there's been a Dendro-centric spot or Imaginarium theater, I just gotta mainly focus on the other 2 elements. And I thought since I have a great Vaporize account, this would be pretty easy, but it wasn't. And that's just because if Dendro's involved, I'm going to be slacking. I'm going to be struggling and falling behind. So what does that tell me? That tells me that in the new region, is it called Chesnia or Nagcry? I'm not sure, but it's the Cryo region. I know we're getting at least one new Dendro character, so I'll probably need to pull for her, and I don't want to. I really don't want to, but I might have to just to make things a little easier. I've been building Tignari or whatever, the one who's in the English dubbed is voiced by the Diary of a Wimpy Kid guy, Greg Heffley actor. But he's still not very viable. That's the thing. Like that's just not viable. These Dendro characters I have. Oh, what is his name? Kave. I got him built. Not very good. He never does anything for me. Just a filler character. Even though I tried to build him well, low investment, and just doesn't do that great. I might have one more. Oh yeah, Curara. Curara is decent, but just all the Dendro felt like a flop to me, and at the time that's when I was really building Hu Tao to be a great character. When I got her C3, and yeah, C3, and I had gotten Yelan, so I had the Hu Tao double Hydro. So I was finally just smoking things on the Spiral Abyss, because at the time we got 2 Spiral Abysses a month instead of 1 Imaginarium Theater and 1 Spiral Abyss. So I was just smoking things with that team back then, and I had to rotate between like her and Raiden for my first and second half, and then when Raiden wasn't viable or I needed something like Freeze, I would use Ayaka, who I also got way back then. But I kind of went on a little tangent, all to explain that Dendro is kind of a really niche thing that, like, it's good and it's not good, and, you know, it's gotten a lot of love, but I just am not sold on it. I feel like there's less aura in the Dendro characters by a lot, too. If Hoyo's watching this, which recently nobody has been watching this, but on the offhand chance Hoyo is seeing this, you need to make some cool Dendro characters that people really want to get. Like, we need a Dendro Raiden or a Dendro Ito or a Dendro Ayato or something like that. Like, just a character with a lot of aura that's fun to use and is really cool and just badass. But I got lost on that tangent, all to explain why and how this was a little challenging for me. And maybe if you struggle with the same thing, you can relate a little bit to this. But it was a crazy weekend. That's why my voice is a little, like, woggly right now. I really had to pace myself. And at the end, I got one reuse on my Hu Tao, which was a lifesaver. I would not have been able to pass this Imaginarium Theater if I didn't get to use Hu Tao 3 times. Absolutely, it would not have happened. There's a couple bosses that I wasn't familiar with, so I kind of had to, in the moment, teach myself and learn how they worked. And I'm glad I did. Like, I kind of overcame it a little bit, but it just took me a little while to figure that out, couple attempts. Things you'll want to know is you'll want to probably save your best burning team for Act 10, because you got that big lava creature that goes from a rock into a dragon into a dead dragon, and then you just go crazy on him. This is the one where I used Sitlali. I also used Sitlali on that one. My Act 10 team was Mavuika, Nahida, Jingling, and Sitlali. That worked out pretty well. The hardest act for me by far was Act 8, which you'll see coming up. It's this bird-looking guy that, like, you have to heal, and you have to heal yourself, and it heals like a mirror version of this bird. And once that bird is healed up all the way, it does all the damage for you pretty much against this thing. And that was a really weird, like, learning curve for me. I didn't know how to fight that boss. To my knowledge and my memory, I haven't fought it before. It seemed to have a good amount of HP, and just did not like it too much, and it kind of did not work with what I still had. So that took me like an hour, and that's why, like, after this act, it pretty much just cuts to me fighting it. It doesn't show any of the in-between stuff where I, like, spend that, like, currency you get. Like, just didn't show me getting buffs or picking the character I wanted to unlock. Excuse me. Because I clipped the last hour once I beat the boss, and that didn't cover it. So, it's okay. I mean, what are you going to do about it? And Act 9 was a huge load off. Thankfully, massive relief that all I had to do was beat 2 ice hilly Lolatrurls, and I was just able to do that with Hu Tao and a hodgepodge team. Other than that, it was pretty evenly challenging throughout the whole Abyss, or not Abyss, Imaginarium Theater. I'm always going to mix those two up. I'm never going to kind of get over that. But bottom line, they were all pretty equally hard just because I don't have Dendro built too well. So it was not like it's pretty even challenge up to 8, and then after 8 it honestly got easier for me. I should also mention that I did my OG strat against a single target boss on Act 4 when you have to protect the monolith. Just hit it once and then lead it away in a circle the whole time. That's a free round where you just get to kind of stall and run the clock and use your worst characters, save your best characters for a later round. I also think I should point out I'm experiencing a little bit of Genshin burnout with this endgame content. I always really enjoy the Spiral Abyss, but the Imaginarium Theater takes a long time out of my day to get done. And sometimes it feels like it's so, like, meta-driven around the current character. I talk about this a lot on this channel and on my old channel, but I just get burned out having to constantly need to build a new character to be okay instead of building the characters I really love into really incredible characters. It uses up a lot of really just wishes, and that's 100% Hoyoverse's plan with that. But it's still causing me a little bit of burnout, and I've had to pull a lot for. I felt like I had to pull a lot for Chaska in this last one. Didn't get her, and I decided I didn't want to. Because I felt like I needed more Animo characters, since that and Dendro are the ones that are lacking for me a little bit in the Imaginarium Theater. Every time one of those two elements comes up, I'm just behind. And Chaska, I do find her gameplay really cool and really fun. Don't get me wrong. I just, I felt pressured to pull for her, and now I just don't have any more wishes. So, that's a bummer. It happens. And I'm just hoping that I have some time before Signora comes out, if she ever comes out. It's the age-old paradox. Do you pull for Signora, or do you wait because, she doesn't... It's not confirmed whether or not she's coming out. And I hope she does, but I'm also not going to hold my breath too much. It would really suck if she did right away in the Chesnia update, because I'm flat out of wishes. At least to build a C6 character, which is what I wanted to do with Signora, and what I planned on saving up for after I got, Raiden C2 and her Engulfing Lightning, but that's not the way things worked out. And I'm happy with my account, and I've had a lot of fun on Genshin, so it's not a massive deal. But anyway, this is the last act, and I did think it was pretty fun. I think this is a fun boss, and I'm glad that I can actually do it with Nahida. I'm glad that I don't need Kanich. I just need to do some off-field pyro, and then drive the Dendro with Nahida. That's the strat here, and if you can save Nahida up for the end, you'll be golden. But if you, at the same time, if you have Emily or Kanich, this is their time to shine, and you'll have a lot of good time doing it. I also noticed afterwards that a couple of my noblest, little tiny, level 70 characters were not built full. I think their parts got swapped out sometime while I was just messing around and, trying new character builds, maybe even a previous Imaginarium Theater, Spiral Abyss. So they're a little hodgepodge. My builds are not as good as they usually are, and that could be a little bit why I struggled. But I think my original theory of me just not being stacked in the Dendro department is more accurate. But yeah, builds are pretty customary. Nobody is too crazy. I didn't try anything different, but I'll give you a chance to check them out anyway in the following build section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. God bless you. Peace out. I love y'all. I'll see you next time.